We are
Anya?
never 100% serious because that would be really, really boring if we were. On that note, I am delighted to tell you all before we begin that this meeting will be conducted in English only. Those who were with us last time know how important this was to us. I'm really, really happy that you all could join us. It's lovely to see you all here. Let's talk about our fantastic, lovely project that all the partners put so much work, hard work over the last year into that. And it really was hard work, but it was also fun, I hope, as well at some points. So let me quickly introduce all our brilliant partners. We have InterArt Foundation from Bulgaria. They are the creative minds using storytelling, coaching, and emotional intelligence to empower through personal stories. From Cyprus, we have Emphasis Center. They are our tech champions, building the Tales2Share platform and helping us validate new skills through micro-credentials. And Pro Omnis Foundation from Poland. We work directly with all the women, caregivers, and communities, bringing their real-life experience. From my side, I can say it was a brilliant collaboration. You guys are so incredibly talented and creative. It really was a pleasure. Let me just quickly run through the agenda so it's not so I'm not talking for too long. First, we will take a look at how and why we tell stories with tools and inspiration from our storytelling guide. That will be our lovely Velina. Then we will give voice to our educators. They will tell us real stories and reflections because they're the ones who have been testing the program. Then we'll explore the skills women gain through these activities and how we measure them. That will be our lovely Anya and Anya team. And lastly, Kristala will walk us through the platform, micro-credentials, and what's next. So let's get started.
All right. So as usual, I'm going to speak a lot. But like this time, just because my presentation is slightly long, I will enjoy it more if you stop me and if we enter discussions and if we just simply talk about the content and everything that actually sparks any kind of interest. The focus of the presentation that is currently loading on my computer, which takes time, as we are all aware of, is to present you the guidelines we created for senior women. And those guidelines are dedicated both to those senior women from migrant background and those that are coming from so-called hosting communities. So they have a little bit different focus as they embrace some cultural diversity and cultural sensitivity. But more importantly, they're built around the topic of the digital storytelling, and the main purpose is to guide senior women how to create their digital stories. And now I'm going to share my screen. I really hope that the heat and my computer can handle this. So just a second. All right. Can you please kindly confirm if you see my screen?
Just about. It's like it's trying to come on. Yes, we see.
Yes, we see it. We have more people coming into our session. That's fantastic. And Anya introduced us so well and so kind. I feel obliged to say the same. It's really a pleasure working with all of you, all the Anyas. I'm sorry, I will mix your surnames all the time, but now I know Sobolevska and Kozman is the power duo that runs almost everything. And of course, pleasure working with Agnieszka, who is demonstrating us all the time such strong management and leading skills, which is pleasure working with you all and all your educators. So now you see my screen and we can jump into the topic. This is our guide for senior women. As you know, it's already available into the languages of the partnership, in English, in Polish, in Bulgarian, and of course in Greek. And it's free for anyone who is interested on our website that our partners from Emphasis built and also on the platform. So, as I said, the purpose of the guide is to serve senior women in their journeys towards creating digital story and sharing them. And what makes it different is the fact that it encompasses cultural sensitivity and it acknowledges also some specific barriers that migrant women face when they want to share their stories, because there are specific challenges related just for the simple fact of being from migrant background. Yes, you can see here the contents, and very briefly, even though I'm not known for being brief, I will go through the main chapters of this guide. And of course, you can read more and you can read in depth. You can spread and disseminate this content to whoever you see relevant and valuable. And we're going to start with the main thing, which is the power of storytelling. And the first chapter of this guide actually tells us why storytelling is so powerful. From socio perspective and from neurocognitive aspects, it to me, neuroscientific background of the power of storytelling is the most interest, but of course it has many other aspects, and I will go briefly through them in a bit. However, storytelling deeply impacts our emotions, imaginations, perception, and it's not like the ordinary speaking. Storytelling is form of art that transforms reality into a message that can be conveyed, experienced, and to sparkle bigger change, something bigger than us. And storytelling also, the good storytelling can exist in the present, in the future, in the past, and serves as a bridge towards all those dimensions. And when it's emotionally charged, it's very memorable and brings lasting memories and lasting change in us. And here we have some very short example why very brief message can bring emotion and can bring impact. After 50 years apart, two childhood friends met again, one holding a faded photo, the other holding same smile. Even that's a very simple sentence. It can charge specific emotions, it can invoke emotions directly, and it could like trigger neural networks in our brain, thinking of our own childhood memories like almost immediately. It works like a magic. At the same time, it triggers so many sensors that we are almost experiencing it. We feel empathy towards it, and at like the moment we read this very simple, very short sentence, we already are immersed in a story. So that was very brief example. There are many such examples. There is one very popular, but I don't like it because it's a very dark one. So that's why I'm not going to go into those more dark. But this is very, very sweet, very like joyful one. And those, what happens is basically we have some key elements that define, that make a story powerful. If we have emotional engagement, of course, if we have ease of retention, meaning that we're able to memorize it, the simpler, the better works here. Bond building. It's very interesting part why stories work so well when we have characters, because our brains tend to identify ourselves with the main character of a story. It's an automatic reaction. we almost immediately put ourselves in the shoes of the main character of a story, as long as there are some element that unites us. And of course, they are very, very stimulating for the imagination. Our brains also are designed to fill all the unknown gaps with what is known to us. So if we hear a vague story, and it's a good story, but still vague, we immediately fill it with details that are specific to us, specific to our own personal imagination. And the same way books work better than movies, it's here. Like a good story with key elements, but not too much detail, can actually create stronger bonds with the audience that it's presented to. Then, of course, the more we transmit values and culture, elements of culture, something that's specific, the more we convey what's the social norms, what are the narratives that we want to deliver to our target audience. And the stories have this moral ideas that somehow are relevant beyond the cultural context. We face similar challenges even in very different cultures, like love versus social norms. Should I marry this person, or should I oblige to social norms? It's a very archetypal stories that present us with such kind of moral dilemmas and moral how to say, bottlenecks, something that needs to be solved, something that needs to be experienced, and it's not a simple answer. It's not yes or no answer. These answers are not interesting even to our brains. Then another good, very strong key element of stories is the fact that they always embody some kind of transformation from the Greek concept of catharsis to nowadays concepts. Every time when we have a strong story, we have someone who goes through a challenge, transforms, and then achieves the desired good in a new way, not envisioned in the past way. And last time we spoke the hero, and this is something similar to the hero and the journey of the hero, that always we have someone who does something out of the box or overcomes a challenge, showing something exceptional or not exceptional, but shows different kind of support that is expected, etc., etc. And the other thing is, another key element of a good story is that they are universal and they are not bound by time. Some dilemmas, as I mentioned before, go beyond time, beyond generations. I know that the context and the environment now is completely different, but we always struggle to follow our heart or to follow our brain. It's always difficult dilemma. So this thing I don't expect to be resolved anytime soon. So we can rely to tell good story based on this dilemma. In any way, moving forward, these stories matter even more in cross-cultural context when we have women coming from different cultures. The more we share emotions, the more we bring cultures together and the differences fade away. And the abstract cultural norms basically always translate to the actual human experience. So the more we speak about the personal journeys, the closer it is, and the less we think of things that divide us, and the more we think of things that actually make us one. And of course, we can like why stories matter even more for cross-cultural context. You can see here some things that they help to. I'm not going to go into detail because I told you I speak more than I should, so I want to focus on more other things because it's a big guideline and I encourage you to explore it in detail. I just want to mention some of the main challenges that migrant women face when they share their stories. We have language barriers. in the guide, we have a special section dedicated to free resources that women from migrant background can use to learn the local language, and vice versa. Women from hosting communities also can learn a new language. Like nothing stimulates the brain more from learning foreign language. So it's quite a opportunity. You have these free resources listed in the on the last pages of the guide. Then we have another problem, which is the risk of re-traumatization. Many women who were forced to leave their homes, actually they have experienced some kind of traumatic event, and sometimes when they're not in the right environment, the telling the story can sometimes, under some conditions, cause re-traumatization. So that's why we always need to be sensitive when we are asking someone to tell us a story that she or he is not comfortable, and provide space to people to open up at their own pace and overcome shame in their own pace. So we need to be just mindful about that. And of course, many of those women fear discrimination, fear that they will be judged or the stories can be misused, guilt and shame. Always those are two things that actually shame is one of the psychological concepts that is most harming us. Like when we feel shame of our experience, we are closed, we cannot express it, we cannot work through it. And what's the antidote of shame is safe spaces. Say, simple as that. When we have safe space, shame can be overcome, of course, at the own pace, and that is a healing journey. And I've seen many cases where once the shame is overcome, many other things become easier for the person. And then again, safe spaces and exploitation of stories. Now with the political agendas and these dynamics, many stories can be manipulated, put in narratives that they don't belong to. So we try to keep this very clean and to present the stories as they are, not fitting into some kind of a concept. Then, of course, we have the struggle with expression, where to share, when it's appropriate, emotional toll, and unfortunately, we still have this lack of societal interest. Not everyone is interested in the stories of senior women with migrant background, and yeah, we try to spread them in a way that more people can embrace it and see the wisdom they bring, because there is a lot of wisdom. But regardless of those challenges, storytelling is a remarkable tool that can cause healing, connection, cultural understanding, especially for migrant women. Then I'm not going to go into the technical things that the guide presents, because you can read them. The second chapter is dedicated to what the digital story is. It shows you the specifics, the types, the three main types of storytelling, stories we can have. It shows you the specific benefits of the digital storytelling, because our trainer, Sia, will tell you more about our experience here with women in Bulgaria that we had in our program. But one of the things that she will focus on is the fact that when they hear digital, they're immediately scared. So everything that's scary, it's definitely an area for improvement and brings a lot of opportunity. Even though they might need extra assistance, it's worth it, especially worth it. And then we have our fourth chapter, or third chapter, It's the power of emotion and personal experience. And that's my favorite topic. So that's why I'm going to speak a little bit more here. I'm sorry, you can interrupt me anytime you see, or if you want to interrupt me. Okay, so about the emotion and the personal experience. Storytelling, as I told you, it's not just sharing facts, it's sharing oneself. Um, every time we share a story, we tell some factual consequence in the way we understand and we see it, and that's very unique for us. Everyone has her or his specific cognitive constructs, the way brain sees connections, where they see it, what puts in different models, and etc. etc. So every time we share a story, even unknowingly, we share part of ourselves and part of the way we see the world and experience the world. So even like if two people share the same facts through a story, they can be felt and conveyed very differently. And as we spoke at the beginning, emotion is the core of every meaningful story. Like story without an emotion lacks depth, lacks authenticity, and lacks the opportunity to create a connection. And here you can see the six universal emotions. There is a study back in the days. Oh, I forgot the name of the researchers, but basically they research into very different cultures, including tribes, Western, Asian cultures, etc. And it's confirmed that we have six basic emotions that are universal. So every culture, despite the context of its development, including tribe cultures that are separated for so-called civilization, they do experience and they do have facial expression for them. It's surprise, fear, disgust, anger, happiness, and sadness. So yeah, we all humans have those emotions. We all have specific facial mimicry for those emotions. There are so many interesting studies on them. Like example, my favorite study it's about the surprise and fear. Basically, what differentiates them, you can see them on the top, like what's the difference between surprise and fear? It's in the eyes and expression, and fear can be best seen only if you observe the eyes. If not the mouth, not here the structure, but in the eyes, it's where the fear mimicry presents the most. Anyway, I'm not going to go into neuropsychology because we don't have the whole day, but continuing. Here, just for my personal pleasure, I have put some pictures of the limbic system and I'm going to explain how the emotions work there. So why actually we have empathy that connects us and why we relate to other people's emotions. So in the human brain, limbic system is what works as emotion generator. We have so many different parts of this limbic system, but basically we have one part of the prefront, we have the amygdala, which reacts to fear and it triggers our fear response. So when we hear a story that is scary, it signals the rest of the brain. And the other part of our brain that's very important to the storytelling experience and reception is the prefrontal cortex. You see it there in the other graphic that I put just for my pleasure. Prefrontal cortex is engaged with the decision making. So when we have those dilemmas like love or social norms and etc., this makes this part of our brain very engaged. And this part always looks for reasoning and how to solve the story, how to bring closer our own personality to this story. And basically, those centers are very active when we listen to a story, and almost the same way as they are when we experience something or when we have some like monologue narrative that we're telling to ourselves. And these stories, like there is a part like in the brain that's called insular cortex or insula. And from this part of the brain, so many studies have started, but what's remarkable is that this part reacts when someone else is disgusted. So when we feel this very extreme emotion, disgust, when we see someone experiencing, we always immediately experience it ourselves, and we experience also the bodily signals of disgust ourselves. So here it works like mirroring neurons, that there is another part of it. So not allowing myself to go any further into that, I just want to say that the more emotion there is, the more memorable is a story, just because hippocampus is part of the limbic system that processes emotions in the brain, and hippocampus is the part of our brain, subcortical part, that is responsible for memory, for building memory and transferring into long-term memory, basically. So that's why if we have emotion, if we have engagement, we remember a story. And yeah, storytelling, of course, engages multiple brain regions and etc. No more brain pictures, continuing without them. So basically another element that is very important is the more authenticity we have, the better connection we build with the people to whom we are telling the story. And yeah, moving forward, as I'm seeing that my time is limited, the next chapter of our guide is the step-by-step guide to create a digital story. In the guide, you have very detailed those steps. You can see them here. I'm not going to go into details. You have also some tips how to deal with feedback, because that's becoming pressing issue now, especially in social media. When we have more negative commenting culture, uh, dealing with positive feedback, dealing with negative feedback, the ability to differentiate what's constructive feedback and what's not, because we can have constructive and we can have just random feedback from random people on the internet. So it's very important to prepare ourselves how to embrace all the diversity of the internet space. In the guide, you can see a lot of tools. I'm not going to go through them. There are links, there are specific explanations about those tools in detail, so you can see them. Then you can see the different formats explained, different platforms where you can share. And then we have a chapter that is dedicated how to overcome the fear of sharing, because we know that this is an actual fear. Basically, we know that the hesitation, it's very instinctive, very innate. It triggers the brain's alarm system, and social risk for our brain is equalized for physical danger. For our brain, it doesn't matter it's a bear we meet, or a danger of presenting in front of a public. It's the same alarm system, same sweating, same a heartbeat that goes up, and like shallow breathing. So it doesn't matter. It's a real stress for our body. And basically, one of the main reasons is that shame is the fear of disconnection here. We fear that people won't understand, won't embrace our story. And again, this powerful anti-trigger shame comes here. And the fact storytelling takes courage. That's why in the guide you can find all women, all people can find some very practical ways that they can use to overcome this fear of sharing, to understand that's not personal, and basically to approach it as a way of connection with the right people, not attracting the wrong ones. Then in the guide, you can also find the key factors to keep in mind when sharing with audience with different culture. Here we have special paragraphs, special subchapters dedicated to cultural context that we need to understand that we have different cultural norms and taboos depending on the specific culture we're presenting to. The metaphors, the idioms, they are not the same across the cultures, unfortunately. So we might have also different symbols when we're conveying story. We must explain those symbols. We should not rely to a meaning that we have not specifically set. The narrative structure, like the West and the more Asian cultures differ in the way that they convey their stories. Again, humor is very cultural specific thing, so we must check our audience to know what's funny for them. Not all jokes are universal. Emotions maybe are, but not the jokes. Of course, about the language and linguistic nuances. Yep. The role of a hero can be slightly different across the cultures and the form of communication. Some cultures prefer comics, graphics. Some cultures prefer person speaking directly face to face to them. It really depends. So we must align and adapt according to it. In the guidelines, we have also the last chapter, I believe, is navigating challenges after sharing in the digital space. And it tackles the copyright and intellectual property issues. So we protect the content that we have created. We are authors, so we are entitled to the authorship of this content. As I mentioned before, we have negative feedback and online criticism, which is growing concern. Then we have digital footprint and reputation management. We need to keep the awareness that everything we post, it's almost permanently out there in the internet, living its own life. So we must share wisely parts of our story that are relevant and that are not too personal and so on. They may be personal, but not revealing too much of our personal everyday life. Then we have some useful tools, storytelling cards. I believe in the last session we presented them a bit. So not going there, but it's a great icebreaking. I hope it's great icebreaking tool that we can use. It basically they present the situations, questions, and a story to tell and give example stories. So if we're not too confident to tell our story, we can read a couple of stories and start from there. And we have another tool, is the storytelling Canva. It's basically a sheet that we fill with what's the audience of the story, what's the goal of the story, intro part, main body, conclusion part, main elements. In the guide, it's explained in details how to use those fields, and that's very important because from what we've seen, some people, when they try to share their story, they go a little bit overboard, just like me when I speak about things that interest me deeply, and they lose the point completely. So it's a good way to contain ourselves and keep ourselves interesting by saying what's needed and not everything. So it's a useful tool. Then in the guide, again, I mentioned to you about the language resources. We have them here, some of them, and I believe that's it. Yeah, thank you for listening.
Velina, thank you so much. Your passion for the subject is honestly, it's so great to see. I could listen to you much longer, but maybe another time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Are there any questions for Velina? Okay, then.
I
So
have
I
a
guess
question. Can you come to Poland and to talk and to tell your story to our seniors? Because it's very interesting. You talk very interesting things, and I think that our seniors would be good listeners for you.
With pleasure, Anya. With pleasure. I enjoy talking this, especially if you let me talk about brain regions and how specific brain regions work. This is where I I can listen to my voice hours long. But thank you. With pleasure, out. Now we have our trainer Sia, who actually delivered the program in Bulgaria, working with senior women. So she prepared a presentation to show everyone how it was here. And afterwards, with your permission, we're gonna play one or two stories that we recorded here in Bulgaria.
Hello everyone. Are you seeing my presentation?
Yes, hello, Sia.
It is visible.
Thank you.
Some of you know Sia. You met in Cyprus, yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. It's good to see you, Sia.
Hello. I'm very happy to be here with all of you. And I'll be very short after Velina. Don't worry. Start with my presentation.
Dzień dobry. Καλημέρα. Добър ден.
This is my introduction because I need something different. I think all the project is very interesting and I'm very happy to be part of this project. Here in Bulgaria, I work with 10 senior participants from Bulgaria and from another countries that came in here in Bulgaria. Based on our discussion during the Info Day, we decided to dedicate the session to improving digital competencies, digital storytelling, basic tools and resources format is developed in our competence framework. In the second part of the session, we focused more on the civic competencies, the power of emotion and personal history, and dealing with feedback and personal image. I assisted some of the participants with technical aspect of the creation of digital storytelling, and together we practiced some tools as experiential activity. But 4 hours are very, very much for my participants, and after that they are very tired and don't like this organization. But after the session, there was discuss about the barriers the women are facing when they want to share online, including some comments they received on their social media interaction that were not pleasant. And finally, the shorter, the better. During a long session, participants was patient and focused. They prefer to chat each other, to tell about another things, and sometimes was their focus. The big question during our session was, why digital? I prefer pen with paper. I prefer something else, but digital is very, very great fare for them. I hear very exclusion about these letters are very small, or it's very difficult for me, all of this. But the big motivation for many of them is create something for their grandchild. This is the big motivation in my group. A woman's life story where we can see feel real emotion This create very real connections. If the story is not real, then the connections are not so hard. And every time the fun, the smile is very good because make the stress smaller, and I use it like ice break. When somebody change some word, because many of participants were not from Bulgaria, this is make smiles and make the situation better. I continue the second day. Sorry, one moment. During the second day, again, we have with 10 seniors participants at workshop, including senior women from different countries. The workshop was particularly oriented to guide the process of creating a digital story and to navigate them into the influence that such story can have. The day began by introducing the storytelling cards, which include different scenarios around the topic of inclusion of migrant women or women in vulnerable position. The activity was organized as a game after I presented the concept of the scenario with the provided questions and example stories. The participants women took turns to add elements from their own experience to the story and discussed that resonate with their life and experience. After this, it was easier to introduce a structure of the story. This was a challenge, as most women we are working with at this age group when started sharing a story, get lost in the details and lose the purpose of the story. Storytelling canvas was introduced and explained again as a tool to keep the stories concise. After a short coffee break, the participants practiced creating own stories, convening meaningful conclusion and takeaway. They shared the stories and commented how would make them more impactful. The workshop ended with discussion over the emotion felt during the process of sharing a story, both by the author and the listeners. Good story, again, it's a life story. The smile of Brett is something very popular in many of my stories, and I can use this like a start for another session. The help of card. The card shows the pattern, show how to structure our story, and this was very, very, very useful. And again, we use like a tool for less stress. The music is it touches the emotion. Sometimes we use like a trigger to memories, and the picture are something very, very important in our stories because are part, and again then they stimulate the brain. Feedback. The participants were happy to meet real people in the same situation, work together, and created new friendship. Participants liked the most the detailed explanation and human interaction, and the smiles. What they liked the least, that you can never be sure that your data is safe on the internet.
Σας ευχαριστώ. Dziękuję. Благодаря.
Thank you, Sia, for presenting your experience with the Bulgarian, with the group in Bulgaria. Thank you so much for presenting that. Now we have 3 stories that are recorded. We have 2 stories that are women who moved in Bulgaria, like from different background. And we have 1 story for a woman that actually is my favorite. And if you want, I can play you this story. The woman is Bulgarian, but she decided living abroad, very interesting journey. And Bobby, if you are listening, can you remind me the age? 90? Your sister
Sorry,
too.
yes, 93.
93.
Yes.
So I want to play you this story. It's in Bulgarian, but Bobby added subtitles so everyone can understand the story. Just give me a second to share my whole screen. Okay. And we selected this story to make it to help making it digital story. To me, it was really interesting, and I hope it's interesting to you as well.
Казвам се доктор Райна Първанова Рускова и съм на 91 година. По професия съм лекар, по специалност педиатър. Винаги съм се стремяла да изпълнявам с удоволствие задълженията си като лекар и смятам, че съм успявала да спечелвам децата да ме чувстват близка, защото иначе и те самите се така странат от хората, които не са им симпатични, не са им приятни. И става лечението по-трудно. И на времето, когато бях още млад лекар, започнаха да изпращат специалисти, всякакви специалисти в новоосвободените земи в Африка. Аз си подадах документите в Министерството на народното здраве. Не са ме питали къде бих искала да се избира, защото им пише няколко държави, които са били под френско владение. И така казаха ми направо, че ме изпращат в Гвинея. Съгласна ли съм да приемат? Това е Средна Африка. Така заминах там и явих се в Министерството на здравето. Най-напред от посолството, разбира се, имаше и търговско представителство. Там ме предадаха, така да се каже, заведаха ме като специалист да ми приемат и разговора ми се проведе с заместник министъра на здравеопазването, който ме запозна накратко с това, какво ми предстои като лекар, педиатър. Заведе ме той самия в детското отделение. Там всички среден медицински персонал, няма никакви лекари други в детското отделение. Единственият лекар съм аз. И потръгна работата, да кажа, че е било лесно. Беше ми много трудно. Първо патологията нова. Непознати болести. Много тежко състояние, идват обикновено от невежество на родителите, идват много късно. Интоксикирани децата, обезводнени. Децата са много чувствителни към това да има достатъчно течност в организма. Те не дават вода и така нататък. И беше ми в този смисъл трудна. Много тежки случаи И да кажем, не мога да се преборя с заболяването и те умират. Аз тук в България не съм имала, докато работех, не съм имала нито един смъртен случай. Смисъл, не само мое дете, ами иначе и в болницата не умираха децата. Това ми беше най-трудно. Това просто ме съсипваше, не може и да свикна със смъртта. Да се бориш. Понякога съм оставала вече на докато мога да издържа, така да се подобри състоянието на детето, което е в тежко състояние. Този заместник министър на здравеопазването, който отговаряше конкретно за нас, той самия, може би като педиатър, много често идваше или за контрол също, идваше в моето отделение, запознаваше се, даже разпитваше ме имали тежки случаи и така нататък. Бях поставена на известно отношение, положително. Ще отнасяха се с уважение към мен. Никога не са проявявали така неприятно чувство. Живеех при добри условия. Още в началото веднага ми дадаха апартамент, защото аз отидах сама, но ми дойде по-късно. Сега той трябваше тогава дойде с дъщеря, която беше вече на 3 години, ама може би няколко месеца, 3-4 месеца бяха минали, аз бях съвсем сама. В апартамента имаше всичко, което е необходимо, заведен добре, с всички необходими неща. Не съм срещала трудност в това отношение. Изобщо трудността беше само с тежките случаи. Само това ме потискаше там. Иначе, общо взето свиквах бързо с обстановката, бих казала, нали? Имах изпращаха ми от Министерството на здравето човек жена за чистене в къщи. Занимавах се само с прехраната си от жилището. Това бяха 2 блока, 12-етажни, в които живееха само чужденци. Имаше пазач долу, не пускаха никой да се качва по стълбите. Въпреки че идват да ме търсят. Той ми съобщава. Или по телефона, или се качва горе, съобщава ми за какво ме търсят. И ако аз разреша, тогава пуска, иначе не. Например, те от благодарност идват да ми носят, да знаеш какво са ми давали за благодарност. Разбира се, никога не е ставало дума за парично награда, не награда, а заплащане или нещо друго. Но те го носят и това беше трогателно. В една турбичка или даже в шапка се е случвало. 2-3 домата, такива неща, които те произвеждат за хранене, разбира се. И той като види, че ми носят такова нещо, ги пуска направо. Аз се случваше да кажем 1 или 2 пъти в седмицата, не по-често. Но става дума, че иначе да ме безпокоят, да кажем, че искат да прегледат някое дете, пращат в болницата и там ще ме извикат. Не ги пускаше така да ме безпокоят. И той, така между другото, ще използвам случая да ти разкаже, че той спаси веднъж детето. Теодора беше на 4 или на 5 години вече, на 5 години. Понякога я оставяхме сама, играе се да ногамата, докато аз съм 4 часа на работа сутринта. Само сутрин работа, ако след обед няма тежки случаи или няма нещо по-специално да наблюдавам, не ходех изобщо там. Така и тя както си играе на терасата, на 5-ти етаж живее вие. Топката й минава отдолу под оградата на терасата. Минава и се в ури има така отвън, нали, за да живее там, имаше дъждовен период, 6 месеца, понякога вали денонощно. Така, и всички къщи имаха такива водоотводници. Пада в това нещо, в топката и тя се мъчи отдолу да извади да може. И понеже не беше много висок това треваза, решава да мине от другата страна, да си вземе топката. Представяш ли си, излиза отвън на терасата и отдолу няма нищо, освен там да стъпи на това. Той я вижда отдолу и ми разправя после на мен. Ако бях викнал, тя може да се оплаши. Аз вика, чакам да погледне, тя поглежда надолу. Да погледне към мен и казвам така. Да се върне обратно. Така ми спаси детето, можеше да падне отвън. Представяш ли си такова нещастие да се беше случило? Затова така се е започатало толкова дълбоко в това. За там ли да ми бъде вече? Ами не бих казала. Даже вече ми се живееше така, да се върна в България. Никога не ми се е появявало друго желание. Колкото и да е било съвкуснител, да кажете, толкова хора имаха желание. Аз лично не съм имала неприятности. Нито пък съм имала, да кажем, някакви неприятности от алжирци или от гвинейци. Някакви тежки преживявания и прочее не съм имала. Или някакви затруднения, особено в живота. Може би, защото бях и много млада. Още, нали, всичко ми беше така... Лесно ми беше, защото бях млада. Не бих казала, че съм имала много затруднения. Но мъжа ми помагаше, особено в Гвинея ми помагаше много, в Алжир вече с двете деца, ама пък Албена Теодора порасна, тя ми помагаше. Така че...
So, I hope you like the story of Raina. To me, she was very interesting to go in Central Africa to be a pediatrician. It was very interesting for us to put this story together, and to be honest, I believe such stories needs to be heard, need to be spreaded. The other two stories we managed to record. I don't have the time to sit and watch together with you those stories, and I'm sure the colleagues recorded as well fantastic stories. So I encourage everyone to watch these women, because the same way this woman from Bulgaria living in Central Africa saving children's lives as a pediatrician, or the women came here in Bulgaria, everyone has something specific, something beautiful to say, and I believe those stories are needed to all of us. With this, I will give the floor to our colleagues from Omnis. If I'm not mistaken, now the framework needs to be presented, Anya's.
Yes, the framework.
Okay.
Okay. Do you hear me?
Yes,
Yes?
we hear you.
Okay, so I would like to tell you something, maybe not all of it, because it's a lot of things about the community program. I don't want to read all community program, because everyone knows what's inside. But we prepared some things about the community program in and the especially for the women. What skills women gain through the training, the Tales2Share tools, and how are these skills assessed. I think that Velina said that very important was the storytelling cards. We put them on the presentation because it's, of course, for us, it's additional product, but it was very good idea to put this, because the storytelling cards, like you said, Velina, it was some kind of ice-breaking and useful for us, because we had in our community program we had many women, 23 as I remember. So when we gave them storytelling cards, because we had zestawy, kurczę, two of them. So we gave them the cards, and because for the first time they asked, no, the storytelling, it's not for us. We don't want to talk. We don't want to share our stories. But the cards help them to see that it's not so bad. And the storytelling cards, it's fantastic. I think that that it's very good good thing to have this. And also the guide for senior women from hosting communities or migrant background. Also the Canva, yeah, the Canva. Verena said that it helped them to be in a topic, yeah, not go away. So it's good. About the competences. We have 4 competences in general. Each of them means different things. We have personal and social, as you see on the first slide. Communication and narratives aspects, digital aspects, of course, for Tales2Share, very important, and intercultural and civic aspects. As you see now you can see personal and social aspects. It's some of them personal and social development, as you see. I mean, it's in general, because we could talk more about details, but it's not time now. Also, ability to understand and manage emotions, cope with stress, and practice self-care. Self-care, it's very important. We have today Isa is with us. It's a senior. Her story show us that self-care is very important in life, to change life, to be a new person. So our story is about that. Also the development of empathy and understanding for others. It's a very important personal and social skills, because without understanding and without empathy, we don't understand each others, and we don't understand ourselves. Increased self-confidence, overcoming barriers, and the other that you see it's also understanding one own strengths and weakness, not only others, but also ours, and how we can confirm these personal and social skills. As you see, communication, we can see communication skills in group discussions, listening, active listening, especially empathy in role playing, ability to cope with new situation, and the practice of self-care are observed. So we should look at this, and it show us how the personal and social skills works in practice. Yeah, I think that we can say something about communication and narrative aspects. It's also important. Here you can see what kind of communication and narrative skills participants can learn. it's interesting. It's the art of storytelling, because I think the storytelling is some kind of art. Storytelling can become art, and art can be storytelling. So it's connected. Also, ability to tell one's own stories in engaging way, because the way we talk about something is very important, because when we say stories in engaging way, people wants to listen to us. So these skills are very useful when we want to tell the story which is interesting. Also, ability in non-verbal communication and active listening, it's important. Ability to introduce oneself and overcome communication barriers. Ability to share unique experiences and perspectives, and also to create stories with a message and a call to action, because every story should has the end, the end, which show us something, tell us something, or teach us something. And how we can observe and the ability to tell engaging stories, as I said, and well as non-verbal communication and active listening are observed. Completed stories are evaluated for compliance with the chosen format, content preparation, and ability to engage the audience. Sharing simple life stories serves as a language and communication exercise. And that's about the this communication and narrative aspects. I don't know if Anya Schmidt is with us, because
Yeah.
she. Okay,
I
Anya,
can
would
be
you like?
short. Yes. Hello to everyone.
Hey.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, and
I'm
yes.
in the car.
Okay.
Hello. I'm in a car, so to continue what you said, Anne, and to be short, about two, let's say, a part of the skills left. We are talking about digital aspect. It's challenging for both sides, as I said last time. For educators, for me it is, and for seniors as well. What we are talking about the digital skills, that our participants are able to create digital stories, for example, in Canva, that they are they can use, usually they use WhatsApp, for example, just short application to communicate, that they enough confident in technology. They are not afraid of use internet applications, phones, computers. Yeah. So and they are aware of privacy and security risk. Yeah, it's about our time that we have to be careful about all these aspects. So tools to communicate and express opinions in the space between each other. How we can confirm? We can, of course, put practical tasks. They can put, of course, create a digital story, for example, in Canva, as I mentioned. So we can see how they are familiar with all the applications, internet, how they use internet to use information, music, pictures, something like that. Yeah, shortly, yeah, it can be about this. I think, enough. And the last intercultural and civic aspects. Of course, our project is all about it. We try to empower migrant women age 55 plus to share their unique experiences through digital storytelling, foster their lifelong learning, and promote inclusion. We are talking about language development, just be brave to learn, to use simple phrases in foreign communities. They exchange they experiences, stories. Sometimes they are different. I mean, about religion, culture. What's going on? That we are all much more understanding. We can understand much more and overcome stereotypes. That these women, we put them to civic engagement. And how we can confirm, for example, about civic engagement, we can observe that they can be volunteers in our Tales2Share hubs, for example, in future. About overcoming stereotypes, of course, they exchange their stories, how they overcome prejudice, the first steps abroad, something like that. That they demonstrate their stories, digital storytelling. Yeah, I don't want to just mention all what we put on the picture, but I think most of them, yeah, it should be like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Anya. And Anya, I think
Thank
this
you.
is the work of Anna
Yes.
Kuzma and Anna Schmidt, right?
Yeah,
Both of you.
that's
It's
correct.
fantastic. It's fun because with three Anyas, I'm always confused when you sign something Anyas, and I'm confused which three, like which told you.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
very common name. Yeah.
yeah, basically it's fantastic summary, to be honest. Thank you for providing this summary. I think it complements the frameworks and everything in the assessment prepared. It really complements it. And now you brought a new perspective towards the project and the assessment. So thank you about providing this. I will look forward about the Word version of it to see it, because I believe it's very valuable framework that you have created, dear Agnes.
Thank you as well. I think maybe Isa will talk something to us. Maybe Isa, it's our senior woman who was talking about her life, and you can see this on Canva. So Iza, jak ci się mówiło?
Yeah. Hello. I speak English a little, smile. Bardziej słuchałam,
She
osłuchuję
was
się.
listen to us, and she told me that she understands us, but speaking is a little bit different. But Isa is very brave, and she's learning English, and I think Isa za 5 miesięcy porozmawiamy po angielsku. After 5 months we will talk in English, I think.
Yes.
Okay. Podobał Ci się ten nasz community program?
Tak.
Yeah. Iza likes it.
Bardzo mi się podoba. Jestem tylko ciekawa, jak dużo osób będzie chciało dzielić się swoimi doświadczeniami.
Yeah, Iza wonder how many of these women would like to share their experiences, because it's not so easy. Iza knows about that. It's not so easy to share, but I think that that we will do it after the first stories. The next will be developed, and they want to talk. Iza, myślę, że po Twoim przykładzie wszyscy będą chcieli się dzielić, także dziękujemy Ci, że byłaś taka odważna. Thank you for being so brave. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Lisa, thank you. Well, by our side, the same thing. Women needed inspirational story, needed examples, someone to start first. And they open up. At the beginning, they used practice stories just to speak and to tell a story. And little by little, the pioneers came and started telling stories. Actual ones.
Thank you so much. That was very inspirational. Is that are all the educators said what they wanted to say? Or do we have anyone left? Maybe someone got inspired along the way? Because if not, then we would like to hear from Kristalla now.
Okay, it's my turn, I guess. Let me share the screen. Thank you everyone for your presentations. It was I guess, and Evelyn as well. Okay, let me share my screen. Unfortunately, we have only 10 minutes left, so I will try to be quick and efficient. So I will share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so my presentation / task for today was to go deeper, let's say, to the platform, because on previous online session, I briefly present you the platform and how to create an account, if I'm not mistaken. However, today we're gonna see what exactly almost the most important parts, let's say, are included in the e-learning platform. So as you can see here, this is the homepage for our platform. On the home page, you can see, you can find directly the project website with more detailed information, let's say, with some news and all these that we presented as a result of the project, some photos from our training project meetings, etc. Here you can see the courses that we have for our project. We have an e-library, the handbook, the e-community, and also all the modules that we explained in the last online session, the partners, as we said. Here you can see a video. This is the English version, but you can find it in Polish, Bulgarian, and Greek in our YouTube channel. And here you can see our calendar, where some the events, let's say, the most important events that happened throughout the project. And yeah, that's it for the homepage, simple and easy. The initial idea is to go from the beginning on how to log in, etc., and how to enroll, self-enroll into each module. However, because we don't have so much time, as you can see, I am logged in. So I will go immediately to the module 2, let's say, to take it as an example and reference. Here you can see that you need to enroll yourself into all the modules, so it's not automatically enrolled. You can enroll yourself wherever you want to and wherever you think that you need more inspiration, let's say. You need to click Enroll Me. And here you can see all the content from the modules. The structure is the same for all the modules. So I take just one as an example. Here you can see, oops, sorry, I clicked it twice, sorry. Here you can see an introduction to the module and just one very nice photo. Here you can see the actual content of the training material of the module. If you click into the e-learning, you will be able to see here on the right-hand side the table of contents, and you can navigate yourself with the arrow to go to the next chapter and read it as a book, let's say, the content of each module. However, you can also click on the download the module. For now it's 2, but can be wherever, into PDF version, and you can have it as a PDF version as well. I'm going back. Here we have a syllabus for the adult educators. It's on a PDF version where some guidelines, instruction, activities, and some supporting handouts, let's say, on how to teach into the classroom each module. And also you can download it as a PDF. And here on the validation of module 2, let's say, we have a questionnaire where if you click on it, click attempt quiz, you will be able to see the 5 questions that we created for each module, where after you will read the content of each module, you'll be able to go to the assessment quiz. And once you get into the assessment quiz and your score is above the 70%, you will receive an open badge where I'm gonna present to you in a while how is this badge look like and what are the benefits. Oh, sorry. I'm going back to the module 2. Here you can see that for each module, we created 1 podcast with experts and 1 webinar. This one is on the English version. However, I'm scrolling down to see that we have for all the languages as well. And yes, here you can see the Polish version. It's on the same structure. Let's say you can find everything in the Polish, Bulgarian, and also Greek. Do you have any questions so far, or shall I continue? I guess no, so I can continue. I cannot really see you, but I guess no. So if you click onto my courses, you can see that for now, I enrolled myself into the module 1 and module 2. In the module 1, I already completed the assessment questionnaire, so I can receive my badge, so you'll be able to see it. That's why it says 25% complete. And instead of module 2 that I just enrolled, I didn't complete anything, so it's 0%. So we said about the open badges. If you successfully passed the assessment quiz, a notification here on the top menu will be received to you, and it says, congratulations, you just earned a badge. If you click on it, you'll be able to see the actual badge, which is a digital certificate, let's say. And it says that the criteria for this badge is to complete the validation questionnaire either for English version, either for Bulgarian and Greek. And you can download the image, let's say, and so you can save it into your computer. And for adult educators mainly, you can use it in your CV, LinkedIn. So it's like a diploma, let's say, but in a digital format. Also, an email will be received to you on the email that you created the account, which it says, congratulations, you just earned a badge. And you can find more information once you click. Can you see also the other tab that they opened?
Yeah, everything.
Okay. Okay, thanks. Yeah, you can click on the module 1 to see the more information, and you can download or to see all your badges, because you can earn the badges for all the 6 modules. And once you click here. So it's like a certificate and proves that you learn, let's say, whatever is included into our modules. I'm going back to show you another, another feature that we created, the e-community. Again, I need to enroll myself, self-enroll myself. And here you can see that on this e-community, it's like a forum. Maybe you're more aware of the forum. Where you can create several topics and discuss between the users of the platform, and you can exchange different messages, ideas, knowledge, how to end with the community program, how to end with the info days, or whatever you want to exchange with the others. So it's like a communication channel. So you can click add a discussion topic, you can add the subject, the message, and you can post it. However, you can see here some other discussion topics that others created. And if you click discuss this topic, you'll be able to also see the discussion between others. And if you click reply, you can reply to the specific discussions and not create a completely new one. Last but not least, I'm gonna click into the e-digital storytelling map, which is not finalized yet, but I'm going to show you what we created. This is another interactive map, which the stories will be uploaded. The stories like Velina already shared with us before. And you will be able to see all the digital stories. For example, if you click into several digital stories, you'll be able to see an actual image from the person presented the story, the content, and the YouTube link that we'll upload later on. So I will keep you posted, I guess, once we'll finalize also this feature here, and all the stories that they are created into the project will be uploaded. Yeah, I think I covered the most important things as fast as I could. If you have any questions, please let me know.
That was lovely, Kristalla. Thank you for that. Another incredibly passionate person, and pleasure to listen to you. We are running out of time. However, if there is any questions or if you'd like to discuss anything, I'm sure we can spare like maybe 2 minutes. Okay, maybe not. I guess that's a wrap, guys.
Maybe I will put the survey to the, maybe someone can hold on a second for a while.
Agnieszka will put a survey for the participants in the chat. If you would be so kind as to fill it out honestly, please, that'd be great. And if you haven't yet, please do try to log into the platform. It is really, really interesting and a lot of fun.
Okay.
Okay, here's the link to the survey. We'd be really grateful if you could fill that out. I guess this is it, guys.
Ja może po polsku powiem, bo Iza jest z nami i troszkę Polaków. To tutaj jest link do takiej ankiety po po naszym dzisiejszym spotkaniu. Jest po angielsku, myślę, że sobie poradzicie, są proste pytania, także bardzo prosimy, żebyście wypełnili tą ankietę. Dziękuję.
All right, well, thank you so much for attending. Thank you so much for being here with us. It was a pleasure to talk about the project. And we hope you stay with us and keep checking on our progress. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Bye bye.
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 Bye.